Hey, what's up, people? JayDub here. The 2010 WWE Draft edition of Monday Night Raw is officially behind us. A lot of big picks were made in this draft. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on these picks and my thoughts on the show as a whole. And make sure you give me your opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think are going to be the immediate implications for the draft on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown? On to the show as a whole. I do believe that WWE put on an excellent episode of Monday Night Raw. It was great from start to finish. A lot of great action. Great matches, great promos, no stupid, lame comedy skits, no celebrity guest hosts at all. And I just have so much hope that WWE puts on great episodes of Raw each and every week, because I don't think there's anything holding them back. As I said, there was no celebrity guest host this week. The concept does return next week, but I don't think that'll be enough to hold WWE back, especially with these big names that they have on Monday Night Raw right now, and some of the exciting things that happen in the show that set up for the future very well, such as in the final match of the night, which was a #1 contenders match for a shot at the WWE Championship. It was Batista versus Randy Orton versus John Cena. Edge interfered in the match, speared his former partner Randy Orton, thus allowing Batista to win the shot at John Cena's WWE Championship. Is Edge turning heel? Who knows, but we have to watch Raw, wait and see, and I cannot wait to see what Raw has to offer, because I believe they have all of the potential in the world to put on a good episode. Every week you have John Cena, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, Edge, and Chris Jericho. Last two are the newest members of the Raw roster. Along with them, you have John Morrison and R-Truth moving to Monday Night Raw. Edge and Chris Jericho. I said in my video, my Extreme Rules review video, if one of these guys were going to be moved to Monday Night Raw, it was going to be Edge. But both of these guys end up moving to Raw. And, yeah, Edge, he made an immediate impact. Chris Jericho, can't wait to see what he happens to offer to Raw, because Raw is Jericho once again. As far as R-Truth goes, don't think he's going to amount too much on Raw. So moving on, John Morrison, I kind of thought that this was going to happen, but I did not want it to, because I'm fully expecting him to be lost in the shuffle, just as a lot of young, talented guys on Raw have. You know, it's happened to them many times before. I'm hoping that this does not happen to John Morrison. I'm hoping that WWE sees the star power that resides in him, sees what I see in John Morrison, because he does not look like the type of fly-by-the-night or one-hit wonder, flavor of the month type of person. He seems like he would be a legit contender, a sustainable star in WWE, the next breakout star that can, you know, go to the top and stay there. So hopefully, you know, he finds success on Monday Night Raw. Moving to Friday Night SmackDown, the first draft pick of the night was Kelly Kelly to the Blue Brand. I could care less about this, because Divas Division in WWE, it sucks. Hell, why not draft Kelly Kelly to TNA? You know, she jumps in the ring, she thinks doing gymnastics and flips, that's wrestling. She would work perfectly into the TNA X Division. Hell, you know, you throw a Ric Flair robe on her, that's enough qualification to be the TNA World Champion. So, people say I bash TNA so much. Dixie Carter, there you go. That's a little bit of advice to you. So if Kelly Kelly ends up being released for whatever reason from WWE, you better pick up that phone, dial her number, and in 3 months you're going to have your next big, huge surprise acquisition to TNA. So there you go, a little bit of advice. Take it or leave it. Speaking of TNA, they got an absolutely horrible rating for Monday. They had a 0.5 rating, probably the lowest rating in Impact history, even when they were on like Saturday at 11 p.m. Like, that's absolutely horrible. Hell, Sanford and Son reruns probably get more than a 0.5 rating. Like, that is horrible. And don't get it twisted, I'm not saying that the 3.1 that WWE got for the draft episode was great. It was a poor rating also, but it wasn't as horrible as losing half of your audience in just a week. And I know a lot of the TNA fans will say, oh, well, it's not that bad because we expected it to happen. Who gives a damn if you expected it to happen or not? That doesn't change the fact that it's still a horrible rating. So, yeah, and I gosh darn, I missed this last episode of Impact once again. I really wanted to see the ring Wonder Twin ring unification match, but I missed it. I'm pretty sure it was an epic fail. I'm pretty sure it was epic fail. But yeah, life goes on. And speaking of going on, the following draft picks were, they're on their way to SmackDown also. Big Show, Kofi Kingston, and Christian. I expected these last two picks to happen. I wanted them to happen, and I am so happy that they did. Now, I know a lot of people are mad because Edge and Christian switched brands, so they're on different brands once again. A lot of people want to see an Edge versus Christian, possibly a feud, or even an Edge and Christian tag team once again. I'm not tripping over that because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen somewhere in the future. But Christian, I'm just so glad that he was moved off of Monday Night Raw. SmackDown, seeing as they lost two of their biggest stars, and let me state very clearly, I'm not crying any tears for Friday Night SmackDown, because actually I'm more interested to see how SmackDown goes on with only one of the big stars in WWE, and that's The Undertaker, and he isn't even there each week. So, I'm very much interested to see how SmackDown develops going into this new era with these new stars. And yeah, because Christian, he could move into the World Championship picture immediately as far as I'm concerned. Or, him and Kofi Kingston, they could provide very good competition to Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship, because he's not doing really much of anything with that championship right now. Like the last title defense he had, I believe it was to some no-name jobber, like a local jobber. So he really needs something to do with that championship, and I think these two guys would be great opponents for Drew McIntyre. Yeah, and you also, let's not forget about the World Champion Jack Swagger on SmackDown. Let's not forget about Rey Mysterio and CM Punk. They can be immediately thrust into the main event on SmackDown, and it'll just be great to see how everything develops for WWE after this draft. 2010 supplemental draft, the picks that were made for Raw: the Great Khali, Natalya, Ezekiel Jackson, Goldust, and the new tag team champions, the Hart Dynasty. It'll be interesting to see how they flourish and how they manage as tag team champions, because a lot of people will say, oh, they'll be okay because they're a real tag team. Well, they may be a real tag team, but WWE does not have a real tag team division. So that's why I'm kind of weary about them as tag team champions, because I liked what WWE was doing with the championships, putting them on people like The Miz, putting them on people like Chris Jericho. I don't know what to expect from the Hart Dynasty as champions, but I've really been enjoying their work ever since, well, I've been enjoying it for the longest time, but they've been great. They've been on fire ever since being aligned with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 26. So for the past month, they've been absolutely hot in the ring, and the crowd has been, responding very well to that. So, congratulations to the Hart Dynasty on being the new tag team champions. And speaking of the Hart Dynasty, I'm hoping that Natalya finds some singles success on Monday Night Raw, possibly in the Divas Championship feud. And if you're listening, that was a Simpsons intro. I know a lot of people like to point that out. But back to the video. Yeah, I'm hoping that Natalya finds some singles success, because out of all of the years that she's been in WWE, I don't ever remember her being in a sustainable singles run at all. She's always been off of TV, then they finally put her back on TV, but it's to manage the Hart Dynasty. So I'm wishing the best of luck to Natalya. She has a great look. She's actually great in the ring, and I believe they should utilize her a lot more, because she's like a hidden gem, like a diamond in the rough that they have not fully utilized to her best ability. As far as the other picks go, the Great Khali, he replaces Hornswoggle, probably, who moved over to Friday Night SmackDown as Raw's resident comedy character, but they still have Santino, though. I don't expect anything big from the Great Khali. So moving on to SmackDown, as I said, Hornswoggle was making his way over to the Blue brand. With him comes Chavo Guerrero, Cody Rhodes, Chris Masters, Rosa Mendez, and MVP. I'm glad that MVP is moved off of Raw. Another one of the guys who got lost in the shuffle. On to Cody Rhodes. It would have been great to see Cody Rhodes feud with his brother on Friday Night SmackDown. Both of those guys could have been in the Intercontinental title picture. Goldust, he is a great wrestler. He brings that old school style that we were used to seeing in the 90s that we really don't see today. And I'm a big fan of Goldust. Hopefully he, does well on Raw. But back to Cody Rhodes. It'll be, I'm glad that he's out of Randy Orton's shadow. So it'll be great to see how he does on his own, in his own character, with nobody to overshadow him, and all on its own. So congrats to Cody Rhodes, wishing him the best of success. I guess that's it for all of my thoughts on the draft. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I think that this draft was successful. Not a lot of big surprises. The only surprise that I would say was Chris Jericho moving to Raw. Other than that, not many surprises, but that does not take away from me thinking that this draft was great, because it's set up for the future very well. It's gotten me excited for both shows. Even though SmackDown took 2 big losses with Edge and Chris Jericho, it has me excited for both shows. So in that sense, I do believe that this draft was successful. I am JayDub. Peace out.